Every year, thousands of Brits head to Europe for a dream new life.
To a dad, that is just pure pleasure.
This is heaven on earth.
But sunshine and scenery and a great lifestyle need to be paid for.
My bank is empty. We've got nothing left.
So to fund their fairy tale,
Get your little fishy when the boat comes in.
brave Brits are taking the plunge and going into business. On this series, we follow those expats,
Dave, you got any euros?
setting up anything from bars and boat charters in Spain to vineyards and B&Bs in France.
Not happy. Not happy.
But will they flourish?
We're going to do it, we must do it properly.
Or will they fail?
Money doesn't grow on trees.
It is life or death.
And can they really make a life in the sun pay?
Fans broke down.
You are joking.
It went bang.
On today's show, can this chef turn a chaotic kitchen
We found a huge amount of cockroaches.
into a top-class restaurant?
We're starting to get sleepless nights because you're starting to get worried, you know. We don't want to run out of money before we open the place up.
A new life in France?
Our living room in London, I think you'd fit in 4 times.
But will car trouble end the dream before it even begins?
There's petrol just spewing out of it.
And can a carvery on the beautiful Costa
Are you all right, mate? All right, no.
put romance back into a marriage?
In fact, some days I don't even know if we like each other, to be fair. Do we?
I don't know, do we?
I don't think so.
Andalucia, southern Spain. An area of outstanding beauty where the cuisine is as varied as the landscapes. There are traditional tavernas in hillside villages serving up paella and tapas, a dish which was invented here. And then there are the beachfront bars, or chiringuitos, where you can order the catch of the day straight from the sea. The Med offers over 700 species of fish, from dorada, tuna and bream to some of the best shellfish in Europe. So it's a perfect place for seafood fans to set up home.
2 gazpacho, please. And I'll have the avocado and king prawns.
And calamari fritos.
Chef Steve Hyatt and his front-of-house wife, Allison, have left Dundee to start a new life in the village of Mijas.
This is what you can do on your day off or before you go to work. You know, you can come down here, sit and relax before you go to work. It's just super. Couldn't do this in Dundee.
Steve and Allison only landed here a week ago, and they've been totally won over.
The fact you've got an outdoor life.
Yeah.
You can plan things in the outdoors here. You can't do that back in the UK.
No.
Whereas here, you can plan if you're going to go to the beach and have a barbecue.
Steve wants to bring his own brand of Northern European seafood cuisine to this area, and he sets his standards very high.
I've eaten in La Bernardin in New York. Gavroche, love it. Glen Eagles we used to go to nearly every week.
No.
Well, it was nearly every week.
Once a month if you
Once a month. Well, nearly every week when the birthday parties and everything else
Darling,
we
you
had
have
there.
a birthday once a year. Always exaggerates.
Yeah, right.
Allison and Steve have sunk almost 17,000 euros. That's around £12,000 into the lease on this run-down restaurant. They want the quality of the venue to match the cuisine, so there's plenty of work to do, and quite a few nasty surprises too.
We found a huge amount of cockroaches. It's been closed now for a couple of months, so obviously nobody's been keeping it down. Well, here's the kitchen in the middle of a clean-up. But as you can see, if you have a look at the grill here, I mean, this is hours and hours of work.
But there has been some attempt at pest control here.
It's a bag of water. That keeps flies away. And apparently the flies have a look at it, see themselves so big and fly off. But
Maybe they do.
yeah, maybe they do, I don't know.
The decor isn't much better.
The photographs of famous women. Posh Spice. I don't know who a lot of them are, but I'm sure my husband might.
There's Shakira. Now, I can relate to this one because this is what my wife looked like when I met her.
The Hyatts have set aside €8,000 for renovations. Another area needing attention are the toilets.
We've got a tiler in at the moment, but they're having issues because we've discovered that all the bathroom tiles have been secured to the wall with concrete as opposed to tile glue, whatever you want to call it.
Well, they're not going to fall down, are they? That's for sure, you know.
Built to last.
The Hyatts have given themselves 4 weeks to sort the restaurant ready for opening.
I think everybody that does this sort of thing, you're always up against it, especially when it's not a new build, because you sometimes just don't know what you're going to uncover.
There's no doubt Steve and Allison have a big mountain to climb, but with 27 years' experience between them, they're not daunted.
Uphill battle? Nah, we can handle anything.
I mean, it looks worse than it is. It's like everything. It's like when you get a new house or whatever, and the finishing touches make it shine. It's just the same with restaurants, you know.
But our last one we did, we were 5 months delayed. But we had another restaurant running then, so we did have an income, but here we don't have an income at the moment, so we need to get over.
Yeah, it's much more time sensitive.
But with the opening day looming and no idea what other surprises may be in store, will Steve and Allison really be able to pull off their fine dining dream? The Lot-et-Garonne in southwest France, one of the most unspoilt areas in the whole of the country, nestled amongst pine trees and vineyards. The views are breathtaking and the climate is mild all year long. It's the perfect place to escape the rat race.
You know, you look at all the things that France is famous for, cheese and wine and Brigitte Bardot and, you know, all of those. Jacques Cousteau, yes, exactly. And I wanted to be Jacques Cousteau. That was my career plan when I was a child.
Katherine and Kim currently live in London with their beloved dog, Louis. Katherine wants to recreate the happy memories of childhood holidays in this part of the world.
The first time I came, I was 14 and I did an exchange. And I stayed in a house with a French family. And I loved everything about the way of life. It's civilised and gentle and not like London. It's so not like London.
But Kim is less convinced about trading the city for the French countryside.
I think the reality of actually moving here crept up on me. And I can't remember an exact point where that decision was discussed and made, actually. Thinking back.
Katherine sold a 2-bedroom flat in London and swapped it for a new one in Garonne. And this is what she got for her cash. A stunning 4-bedroom farmhouse with enough space to turn it into a B&B.
As of 10:15 yesterday, this was my house. But it hasn't sunk in yet.
Set within 4 acres of its own land, it has fig trees and orchards and a large detached barn. With a price tag of £180,000 or €250,000, it's given Katherine and Kim a bit more bang for their buck.
Our living room in London, I think you'd fit in 4 times, maybe more.
This house dates back to 1840 and has retained many of its original features, including oak-beamed ceilings and stone walls. And the surroundings are peaceful and tranquil.
It's quite incredible to think, you know, a 2-bedroom flat
In West London.
in West London can buy you, you know, a whacking great farmhouse with potential for a couple of sheets in 4.5 acres of land. I mean, that to me, I still struggle to balance those two things out.
This is the main upstairs bedroom. So this is the one that we could see as a family room.
While this is a beautiful property, they are going to bear some big bills to convert it into a B&B. With all Katherine's money tied up in the house, Kim will stay in London to help pay for the work.
I think the hardest thing for me is going to be the dog, you know. Yeah, I mean, I can talk to on Skype. I can't.
I know what you mean. I'll try not to take offence. She's going to miss the dog more than me.
Yeah, the dog...
Okay, I'm holding the dog ransom.
Yeah.
The dog will not be allowed to go back to England, and that will make her come out and visit me. I think we'll actually miss one another more than we're probably want to admit to.
If we had thought about that too much, we wouldn't have done this. No. So, you know, and yeah, we've got to give it a go. If we don't give it a go now, there's always going to be that what if. And, you know, we don't want to spend the rest of our lives doing what if.
There is also a barn in the grounds, and they want to turn it into a holiday cottage or a gîte. But it's in a bit of a mess.
Yeah, that looks like Ferry.
Hiya! Reception committee.
Their budget's €135,000. That's £100,000 to renovate the house and convert the barn. It's a huge task that needs experts, so they've called in the local builders.
Good to see you.
Who aren't so local after all.
What have you done with Ian?
He will be here, definitely.
Builder Kerry is a Somerset lad who now lives 30 minutes away from Katherine and Kim, and electrician Ian used to live in Suffolk. The soon-to-be B&Bers have a clear vision on how to turn this barn into a 2-bed and 2-bathroom gîte.
I want to do all of this, so this living room and the kitchen all in the same tile right the way through. So these kinds of things are gettable here?
They should be. I've seen ones very similar, yeah.
The cream one, but with grey grout.
Yeah. In the London Underground style.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah? Cool. So I can be really happy I'm not on the London Underground, thank you.
Well, I wouldn't want you to miss it.
Still feel at home. Yeah.
They also plan to put in a brand new kitchen, but it seems there's something these novices hadn't considered.
You did your kitchen layout and I've changed it very slightly.
Yeah, slightly, yeah.
I think there was no washing machine and then they changed the units to make them symmetrical.
Yeah, right. So are you going to put a washing machine somewhere else?
No.
The builder's visit has given Katherine plenty of food for thought, and now it's time to get down to business.
Ballpark figure.
I'd say probably going to be 60, maybe up to 70,000.
Are we talking euros or pounds?
This is euros.
We're talking euros, OK.
Yeah.
That's almost half of their budget just on structural work.
We just looked at it and thought, oh, it needs a kitchen and a bathroom and some plaster on the walls and the flooring done. Just goes to show.
And that's not the only worry.
How long do you reckon it's going to take?
I'd say it's got to take about 6 months, isn't it? At least, I would have thought.
I think 6 months was longer than I was expecting.
That was a lot longer.
Is that worrying?
Yeah.
Look after yourself. Have a good trip back.
Thank you very
and we'll
much.
see you,
We'll
see
see you in
soon.
June.
Yeah, see you in June, right.
Katherine and Kim have had a big wake-up call.
Bye.
And in just a week's time, Katherine will be saying au revoir to London forever. But will her French fairy tale turn into a nightmare? 60 years ago, holidaymakers began visiting the Costa del Sol, and the UK's love affair with this part of Spain is as strong as ever. The region is home to 103 towns and villages, and there is something for every taste. From Puerto Banos, a playground for the rich and famous, to Marbella, with more golf courses than anywhere else in the world, to party towns like Fuengirola. And of course, everywhere is bathed in around 320 days of sunshine every year. Publican Steve Lewis and his wife Jill have moved here after being totally seduced by the sun, sea and scenery.
It's just a pleasure coming to work and seeing this every morning. Back home it was a supermarket blank wall, but waking up every morning, it's a pleasure to come to work, and when the sun's shining, it's great.
2 months ago, Steve and Jill were running this pub in Barrow upon Humber. But they've now swapped a pub on the banks of the River Humber for one on the beautiful Fuengirola Marina.
Grimsby Town Football Club, that's their badge, but I've named it after my father. He was a fisherman from Grimsby. Mariners on the marina, because as you can see, we're on the marina.
And Steve thinks his gift of the gab will go a long way in winning over his new clientele.
Football, everybody loves the football, food and fun.
He's a nightmare, to be fair.
I don't know what you mean, love.
Yes, you do. Have you seen the back of his head?
That's why she married me, because I'm mad.
Weird.
Isn't it, Dale?
Yeah.
Steve and Jill have worked in pubs for 15 years. It's all they know. But working long hours has put a real strain on their relationship.
It's not easy, you know, we do have our arguments, we have our ups and downs, we have our fallouts.
In fact, some days I don't even know if we like each other, to be fair. Do we?
I don't know, do we?
I don't think so.
We survive on our love, don't we?
No, we're not skinny enough.
Steve and Jill are hoping a new life on the Costa will help them put the romance back in their marriage. And it all starts now.
Are you all right, mate?
All right, Doc.
After a 3-month renovation, today is the official opening of their traditional British boozer.
Would you like the Yorkshire pud?
I would like.
Thank you.
Steve believes the key to success is to give tourists a taste of home.
Today is Frengarola's first and one and only carvery. We fetched a carvery unit back from England. We've not seen another carvery anywhere in Frengarola. I think the nearest one to here is Benamagna, which we went to try that out ourselves. You know, we've always had the idea that we'd have a carvery when we got here. So this is it. This is our very first one and it's going well. We've got a few bookings this afternoon.
It may not be everyone's idea of a beachside meal in the sun, but Steve's convinced he's onto a winner.
Definitely a gap in the market here for carvery. The creatures of habit, they like the Sunday roast or the Sunday carvery, and so give them something what they want.
Proper snap this, Dan. Like being back at home.
Steve and Jill have stacks of experience running pubs and are convinced they can make a go of this one. But the big question is, will the Costa del Sol sun put the spark back into their marriage? The picturesque Lot-et-Garonne in southwest France. And in a quiet hamlet just outside the village of Guérin, Londoner Katherine Morgan has been chasing a dream.
The escape is from something that is drudgery. A way of life that just feels like a treadmill. This place is the right place to escape to because it's a polar opposite. This offers me an opportunity to eat well and to live well and to live at a pace of life that's enjoyable.
Katherine plans to run a B&B and self-catering gîte from this 18th century farmhouse that she picked up for the bargain price of €250,000. And today's the day the dream begins. Ealing, West London. And the time has come for Katherine to say au revoir to the big smoke.
It's just quite a big, momentous moment, actually, to see all of our stuff going out. So I hope it's going out. Louis, we haven't told him what's happening. We've been trying to teach him to say Le Wolf for when he becomes a French dog, but he's anxious. I can tell he's stressed out. He's just fed up. He just wants to go to the south of France and sunbathe. Or is that me?
While Katherine moves to France, partner Kim will come back to work in London so that they have an income to fall back on.
Kim's had to go to work, and she decided I was capable and competent to be left in charge of a bunch of removals guys.
There's a lot of stuff to shift. Luckily, organisation is what Katherine does best.
This is the project called The Great Escape, and this is my pride and joy. I think this is a very lightweight project plan. This is the list of things to do day by day in the final month. So decorators coming in and the gardener coming in, and there appear to be 4 stars here, which I've awarded myself for genius planning. Probably not normal, is it? People at work don't think it's normal.
It's early evening, their home is all packed up.
You should see the house.
Smoky.
Very, very, very empty. They were like gannets. They just descended on the place. It was all 4 big burly blokes. I mean, they just picked everything up and were just so quick.
And the reality of what they're doing starts to hit home.
It's very final in that there isn't any going back from this.
Somebody was telling me about a family that moved and went off to France and moved in on a Saturday, and by the Wednesday phoned up, French Moves, the removals company, and said, changed our minds, big mistake, we want to go back.
Really?
Come and pick it all up. They only did 4 days.
4?
Yeah.
What was so bad?
There's no turning back for these two. Tomorrow morning, Katherine, Kim and Louis are booked on a ferry to France.
This is really happening. It is a bit fun, isn't it? It is.
It's 6 a.m. Kim, Katherine and Louis have just set off to the port.
It's about 8 hours from Dieppe.
But after stopping for petrol, they've run into a problem. Their car is leaking fuel.
I don't think it normally smells this bad of petrol in a petrol station, but it really stinks here at the moment, doesn't it?
Yeah, and it's all our fault.
It's all our fault, yes. Do apologise, everybody.
The car is not safe to drive, so Kim calls for help. But she's getting nowhere fast, and with the ferry leaving in less than 3 hours, frustrations are showing. Finally, she gets through. But has this dream stalled before it's even begun?
Oh, we're not going anywhere.
So I would say we're not going to get the 10 o'clock ferry.
It's often said you could drink in a different bar every night of the year in Fuengirola. The nightlife attracts thousands of tourists. Competition is intense, but Steve and Jill Lewis are confident they can make their new pub work.
The main unique thing is that we know what we're doing. You'll get that many people come to Spain and think it's easy, they're on holiday. Oh yeah, we can do that. And the amount of people that come and fail, they don't realise how much hard work it is. I've been in the pub game 37 years, so it's a long time to be stuck behind bars without being a criminal. So yeah.
You get a little pot belly as well.
But hard work alone won't be enough. They need a niche in the market, and Steve thinks he has one.
We want this to be a music pub, known as a music pub, and people to enjoy what we put on.
Tonight is Steve and Jill's first big music night. They've booked a country and western act, hoping it will pull in the crowds.
I'd be happy with 50 to 100. I'd be happy with 200. If we get 50, bums on seats, we're in for a good night. Bit nervous at the moment because, wait for the punters to arrive.
I'm the artist.
But the Costa del Sol's favourite country and western singer never lets his loyal fans down.
I'll do the opening of a handbag, me. I don't mind not bothered, because I get paid.
It's our first party night, and it's all happening now for real. I'm joking up, thinking about it.
Johnny Westwood,
Steve and Jill are hoping to make a name for their pub on the Marina. It looks like they're succeeding.
It's a massive day for Steve. It's, I suppose it's like the birth of a child, isn't it?
It'd be a good night for him.
Yeah, it'd be a great night for him, yeah. I hope it goes down well for him.
Everyone seems to be enjoying the night, and though Steve and Jill are well down on the 200 punters they'd hoped for, they did manage to make almost €800.
We're realistic. We've only been here a week. People don't really know us.
In the first week, it's bums on seats, and that's it. There's people out there enjoying the scent. And we're part of somebody else's life now. We've made it.
I don't think as many turned up as we expected, but the ones we've got in are a good crowd. So the main thing is the ones that are in and enjoying it, that's the word. So.
Yeah. Word of mouth we'll get about. Yeah. So yeah, we'll certainly have a few more next time.
Steve's sure that more live music is the way to get people through the door.
We're going to start having a look round, audition them, see what's out there. Put me Simon Cowell trousers on and we'll have a look.
In Mias Costa, Steve and Allison Hyatt are working around the clock turning a rundown restaurant into what they hope will be the best seafood place in town. A town they have fallen in love with.
Number one is the weather.
Number 2, vino tinto, por favor.
Allison and Steve have moved all their worldly possessions over from Dundee. The job of making their Spanish villa feel like home begins now.
It's got 3 bedrooms, 3 bathrooms. Beautiful outside area we have as well. Nice big garden, and it's cool. Bit of a sun trap, it really is, this part in the morning. It's very, very hot here in the morning. The sun comes up here, obviously, goes around. And yeah, so you've really got the sun all day. Splash pool. There's a swimming pool just down the hill there. There's just no comparison. Well, for here, we were paying, when we sold a house, we moved into a place called City Quay in Dundee, because it was close to the restaurant. And it was £850 per calendar month, plus council tax. Here we pay €750 a month with no council tax. You know. And obviously your electric and gas bills aren't going to be much either here, so, which is quite nice. So again, that's another saving. You know. And the property was nowhere near as big as this. It was 3 bedrooms. It wasn't as nice as this. You know, it's just absolutely super.
And Steve also has a ready-made chef's garden.
We've got a little chilli plant, just growing a chilli. We've got some rosemary, some chive, and some thyme. And I've watered all these, and they're looking much better today. I watered them all yesterday. In fact, I watered the whole of the grass because it was really looking a bit dark yesterday.
It's now just 3 weeks until Steve and Allison plan to open their new business, a top-class restaurant called Latitude 36.
Well, Latitude 36 is where we are, and that's the idea of it.
And it's quite unique.
It's unique. Nobody else has got one. We've checked it out. I bought all the domain names as well.
At the restaurant, Steve and Allison have made great progress. When they arrived, these kitchens were thick with grease and grime. Now, after a deep clean, they're finally ready to use.
The whole kitchen's had to be totally degreased, as the refrigeration, ovens, fryers, canopy now. We've got rid of all the grease running down the walls. Such an amazing job, it really, really is.
So Chef Steve has his kitchen up to standard, but the extra work here is causing big delays and concerns are growing.
On the board there, it just says opening in April. And that's about all we can say really at the moment, because we keep coming across problems. We haven't got an income at the minute. That's the most frustrating thing, is that. But yeah, you've just got to go with the flow, because it's no good getting upset about it, because there's actually nothing you can do about it anyway, you know.
And Allison is having her own struggles.
I forgot to put on sunscreen yesterday, and hence this lovely beetroot shade.
Today, Steve needs to rip down the outside awning, known as a toldo in Spain. Easier said than done.
All sorts of rubbish in the top of it.
It's been cemented to the wall. It also hides a nasty shock.
I've got speaker wire, which is used as a live cable.
That's why I get him to do it.
The couple are coming across problems every day. Has their €35,000 investment simply bought them a bucket load of botched jobs?
I have a little problem up there. We can still see daylight in the corner. That's the only problem. Lucky it doesn't rain much in Spain.
Latitude 36 was due to open in a week's time. But with so much still to do, the Hyatts have had to put the opening back.
I'm not too stressed about it, put it that way. I'd rather we had everything right. And obviously you can see at the moment it's not possible to open.
But now, to top all their building nightmares, there's a new problem. Another seafood restaurant has opened in the neighbouring village. Competition for the Hyatts. But even worse than that, it's also called Latitude 36.
And I don't know how many people think of that name, whether it's just a coincidence or what, I don't know.
With the website built and the signs ordered, this is just one more headache the Hyatts really didn't need. The April opening is slowly slipping away. On the beautiful Fuengirola Marina, experienced pub owners Steve and Jill Lewis are settling into a new life in a totally different environment.
One thing that you can't change is the view. When you wake up in the morning and see this, you come to work, it's a pleasure being at work, it's a pleasure being in the office.
Steve and Jill came to the Costa hoping the sunshine and scenery would put the romance back into their marriage. And it seems to be working.
I'll be honest, I think if we'd stayed in England, I think we would have been divorced now.
No.
Fact, we would have been.
Probably.
The magic of the sunny Costa del Sol is doing wonders for their relationship, but it's spending time together that's proved vital. A few weeks after their bar's opening, there's an international food and drink fair in town. It's another chance for Steve and Jill to enjoy the place they now call home.
It's probably the one and only time we'll get out of the bar, so it's not very often that we do get time together out of the place. Just don't you throw up on me.
Unfortunately, they seem to have made an enemy of one of the locals.
Yeah, getting picked on the dodgems by a
Picked
10-year-old.
on by a 10-year-old Spaniard.
I think I might be traumatised.
Oh no, you can't be traumatised, darling.
I think I'm traumatised.
This downtime is just what Steve and Jill need.
Well, it's certainly been worth a while just getting out from the bar, spending time together. The next thing is we need some product sample.
Is that beer time then?
Beer time. Well done, Dal. Very good one.
But it's not long until attentions turn back to the business. It's May, and with peak season fast approaching, Steve and Jill are looking for the headline act that'll pull in the punters.
We've heard about an entertainer who's sort of newish in town, so we thought we'd go along and have a look, see if it's any good for the Mariners.
They're on their way to see singer Paul Burnham.
I heard we've got quite a lot in tonight.
But Paul isn't always called Paul.
This was worth its weight in gold. It means I can turn up anywhere and put on a show. It's like Judy Garland.
When he's putting on a show, he goes by the name of Guapatini.
And I've even got bum padding in. Give me a little pert bottom. Are you enjoying that? I can tell you're enjoying that.
I don't know whether you call them drag queens or drag artists. I don't know what is the correct term for them, really. But we've heard a lot about him. All good. I don't think there's anywhere in Fuengirola that's actually putting this sort of show on.
Come on, darling. We're here.
Worries me when you start being nice.
Always nervous. Although this is, I've got a nice loyal following here. I've been here for like 2 years now, but I want to do a good show for our guests who are coming to hopefully book me for their venue. But I've got my mum and dad in as well.
Please welcome on stage the gorgeous Guapatini!
How lovely to see you all. You all look absolutely gorgeous. I didn't even know Little did clothes.
If he wasn't enjoying himself enough already, Steve has been invited to the stage.
Blazers and a short. That's a lovely look you're rocking this evening, and I love the 80s as well. Now, I would like you to just say something lovely, lovely to your wife.
You are the love of my life, Jill. And I'd like you to take the credit cards and go crazy!
Really good night. Really good night. I thoroughly enjoyed it. It's always a good night here. I think Steve is going to book me for his venue, which is always good. More work. Thank you very much.
What an entertainer that guy is. Yeah, he's definitely got a booking. If I have to fork up out my own pocket, yeah, we'll put cover charge on and hopefully we'll cover that and it'll only get better.
Steve and Jill think they've finally found themselves a star to light up their bar.
We need that guy behind us to make a success of Mariners on the Marina.
On the outskirts of London, at a services somewhere on the M25, our wannabe B&Bers Katherine and her partner Kim and their French adventure has just hit the skids.
Yep, it's dripping still.
They've encountered car trouble.
It looks like the pipe.
Katherine and Kim are barely out of London.
Tank.
It's really not a great start. But it's now approaching rush hour on the M25.
Looking at the distance we've got to travel and the speed of the traffic on the motorway in the direction we're going, we haven't got a hope of making that.
After an hour and a half delay, Katherine and Kim are back on the road. They're resigned to missing their ferry and instead are determined to make the most of their last day in the UK.
It's sunny. See if we can find some fish and chips. Let the dog have a last play on the English beach. Thank you very much. Great, thank you very much. Down here and find a bench.
And after a stressful start, fish and chips at the seaside is just the tonic.
The last thing you could do before you leave is one of the most British things you can do. Shouldn't we have gone and drunk a pint instead?
It's late afternoon.
I just want to get out of England now. Don't make me come back.
Katherine and Kim are finally setting sail for their new adventure.
I don't have any illusions. I think what I'm planning to do is going to be a lot of hard work, and it's not going to be plain sailing, but it's about the quality of life. And now there's sort of this excitement starting to bubble. You know, we've had some stuff thrown at us today, but we've got through it, and now it's really happening, and it's, you know, yeah. I don't know how you say goodbye to somewhere that you've lived for all your life. So I'm not going to say goodbye, I'm going to say adieu. Or possibly à bientôt.
After a journey lasting 2 days, Kim and Katherine finally arrive at their new home.
It's been just an enormously long journey, 2 days. Oh, I'm happy now.
Now their new life can begin. In Mijas Costa, Steve and Allison Hyatt have big ambitions to open a top-class seafood restaurant called Latitude 36. Well, that was the plan, anyway.
There is a Latitude 36 already.
Oh, just newly opened.
Just newly opened.
Steve and Allison decide to pay the competition a little visit.
And there it is. And it is a seafood grill, the same as ours. So that's what we thought was quite remarkable for somebody to come up with exactly the same name. But hey-ho.
The new Latitude 36 is based in nearby Mijas Pueblo. This charming mountain village has amazing views of the Andalusian countryside, leading down to the coast. The cobbled winding streets are home to some of the best restaurants in the region.
Be interesting to see what he's doing, yeah. I'd like to find out who his suppliers are as well, actually, because it's probably the same people I'm going to use, but you never know, you know.
This Latitude 36 was named over 6 months ago by expat owner Lisa and her business partner Hugo.
So how did you come up with the idea?
It was Hugo came up with the idea because of the ships in the sea and the line, the Latitude 36. So he with the fish and having a fish restaurant, and that's how he came up with the idea.
We think the same.
So great minds think alike. But Steve is one step ahead of his competition.
Have you got a website?
It's on Facebook.
Then Facebook. Because if you want the domain names,
We've got some.
got them.
Latitude 36 is one of the swankiest fish restaurants in Mijas. The visit is giving Steve and Allison a real taste of what they might achieve.
Yeah, but I love the unit. Absolutely beautiful. I love the floor.
I know, it's great.
Oh, wine boxes.
Oh, no, it's not.
Oh, just boxes.
Could there be a little bit of the green-eyed monster here?
No, jealousy is a feeling of insecurity, so it's something I never am. You know. What? I've never been insecure.
So that's the decor checked out. Now what about the tapas?
Well, menu-wise, it's very Spanish.
Looks nice.
Looks nice. You got the pill on, mussels, Mediterranean, clams. It's very Spanish. Yeah. But we're in Spain. That's what we expect. You choose, dear. I'll just eat it. It's very nice, actually. It's amazing here that the starters are as big as a main course. Come and try our food.
The Hyatts have been without income in Spain for 9 weeks. The pressure to open is on. But coming to Latitude has given them a huge boost and the determination to keep going on.
It's not all about work and, you know, because all we have done for years is just work and work and work. We enjoy what we do, so we're quite lucky. But then you've got the added advantage here of this stunning scenery, the weather's nice, you know, as much as we love Scotland, it's freezing cold, it's wet, you know. It's still stunning, but you know, this is nicer, but it's so warm. But we can't wait to get going, you know, we need to get going because we're going to run out of money otherwise. So we've really got to get going.
It's the next morning and the April opening is no more.
We're starting to get sleepless nights because you're starting to get worried, you know. We don't want to run out of money before we open the place up, you know. And when we're this far behind, you know, with weeks and weeks of no income at the end of the day, so it does take its toll, you know. So, but we'll get there, as you do. At least you're doing it in the sunshine.
And now there's another problem with the toilets.
The outlet for the hot hadn't been capped properly, so it was leaking behind the tiles coming out to the bottom. It's great when it's all done, you think that's great, it looks lovely and all the rest of it, and then it's not fit for purpose really, because it was leaking, it's not fit for purpose.
But today things are looking up.
Good afternoon, guys.
Right, let's get unloaded.
Steve and Allison have decided to resurrect the name of their old place in Scotland, the Blue Marlin. And now their new sign has arrived.
I'm really, really pleased with this sign. Yeah, it looks absolutely super.
It's a big relief, because having signs made is not as easy as it sounds.
Exactly the same as the old one, isn't it?
The new signs have cost Steve and Allison €1,000.
Do you think that's too high, Steve, or?
No, I think it's all right.
You think that's all right?
Yeah, it's fine, yeah. Very high for Allison, because she's only that big.
And it marks a big step forward for the couple.
That's really good, yeah, I like that. Oh, yes, very good.
This renovation has gone way over budget.
Looks good, eh?
But finally, after dozens of sleepless nights and days of hard graft, the Blue Marlin is ready to open in 1 week's time.
At last.
Yeah.
Another milestone reached.
So this time next week we'll be open.
Next time.
Almost to the end. Or the beginning, should I say.
As the Hyatts attempt to open their doors, will Steve overcome some last-minute hurdles?
Looks the same, smells the same, but it's sent the rice a really strange colour.
Katherine and Kim arrive in France.
Whoa, here comes the lorry.
But can they get their B&B open before the start of the season?
I'm very conscious that time's ticking by, and I have no income at the moment.
And can Steve and Jill's British pub
Happy Easter!
Oh, thank you. Pull in the punters with its Easter Sunday service?
Watch this space. This is going to be the best bar in Fuengirola.